Everybody, let's welcome back to Rants by Robbo. We are back with some more content, believe it or not. I had a thought because I thought like I had a lot of thoughts about influential influential people that I thought, and I thought, well, we're mostly talking media and entertainment. Like everyone's looking at media all the time. We're always constantly consuming media and entertainment. So I thought, why not make a list of people that I think are pretty like in the movies and entertainment world that you can sort of get a little bit more bang for your buck from. Someone that you can look at and go like, damn, like you can get inspiration from. So on the top of the list, believe it or not, is a cowboy from Texas, the one and only Matthew McConaughey. Now, a lot of you know Mr. McConaughey as alright, but he's he was like a big deal as soon as he stepped foot on the set because they had him playing like a rom-com guy who was really good at making these small roles, and then all of a sudden they gave him the Dallas Buyers Club. Dallas Buyers Club is a movie about HIV, and it's a true story, and how using different drugs not allowed by the FDA can impact people who contract the virus. But you just need, there's a certain, I think it's a peptide, there's a certain protein that people with HIV need to use because it helps their T cell count get back up. Anyway, Mr. McConaughey has been a big star ever since and beforehand too. But his roles got more serious and serious and serious, and he um, has the ability to sort of bring his Texas drawl and Texas twang to anything he brings, and it's sort of like it's like refreshing, and he's always brought like a good spirit to the role. But more importantly, outside of that, he's incredibly influential on his Instagram. Um, he's incredibly easy to find things to use as inspiration. Where he has his own businesses, where he does his own talks about things like, for example, that he talks about the bald eagle. He said, "Do you know what the bald eagle's purpose in life is? Its only purpose in life. It is to improve the nest." And yeah, so he has all these deep thoughts, and it's just someone that I thought, here's a little bit of inspirational, very inspirational, good-looking dude. So there you go. Number one, Matthew McConaughey. Number two, uh, very outspoken Brad Pitt. If you're not a Brad Pitt fan, can't help you, sorry. I know Brad Pitt, for sure. He good looking, smart guy. Invests a lot into LA real estate. He has his own company with Jennifer Aniston that was founded in 2001, Plan B Entertainment. Plan B Entertainment have been helping Paramount for a long time. And if I don't know if you know, but Friends actually went under Brad Pitt and Jennifer Aniston. So while they were on the show, they also had a hand in running the show too, which is pretty insane to think about. So yeah, Brad Pitt. He also a lot of inspiration for him off the off the big screen. Very cool guy from all reports of him. Just like him. This last night just got tanked. Got tanked. Got to get the work in, So yeah, he much like that. There's a story of Brad Pitt getting drunk on a plane and getting flown out of Malta. So there you go. But no, very influential, very smart man. And I just thought, like, good looking bloke, and he has a lot of influence in what he does. The next one on the list, Kevin James. Kevin James, we always know him as the counterpart to the very funny Adam Sandler. Adam Sandler's also on our list, but Kevin James is a bit higher on the list, and here's why. Kevin James was a stand-up comedian in New York, and he was one of the funniest people they ever reckoned took the stage. Right up there with Kevin Hart. He's also on our list. But the Kevin James was known for his comedy and known for his self-stance. He still is today. But he's actually funny. He goes on King of Queens, a famous show. famous sitcom in the 90s. Kevin James often went to the Montreal Film Festival with Joe Rogan, and every time we went into Canada, they said, "Oh, Mr. James, you're going to cause a ruckus this time." And Mr. James said, "Oh no, I'll be on the level. I'll be fine." The reason why, in college, he got into a fist fight, and the Canadian authorities just know that, and always pressure him and pressure him and pressure him about it. But yeah, he's insanely influential. He has a lot of businesses, a lot of things to do with. He had a show recently on Netflix. You may have missed it. It was called The Crew. It was one of the best shows I've seen in a while. He's an incredible producer and one of the best people in the film and entertainment business, but someone we can all definitely get some inspiration from in his acting and his bravado and the way he holds himself. The next one on the list is Ryan Reynolds. Ryan Reynolds. Ryan Reynolds, you may know him as Deadpool. You may know him recently in his new role in Bullet Train for 2 seconds. You may know him from his outspoken interviews. You may know him by the fact that he's a very hot individual. You may know him because he, well, you just know him from everywhere. Ryan Reynolds is everywhere, but he's one of the smartest people in the entertainment business. He has his own gin company, Aviation Gin. He also does a lot on Instagram. He's very good friends with Hugh Jackman, who they're going to make a new Deadpool with. But the reason why I bring up Ryan Reynolds is because he has a business mind and he has these great ventures and he's become this megastar. But fun fact, before he was doing that, he was working at like a grocery store and he was nobody. So from his sheer determination, he became what he is today. And now we have Ryan Reynolds in our screen, and we think, dude, this guy was born to be a star, but he didn't know it all the time. So he's someone you can definitely get inspiration from, and I urge you to watch his interviews and see what he's got going on because he's a very, very influential person. The next on the list is the very one and only Adam Sandler. Who doesn't love Grown Ups? Who doesn't love every movie he's ever touched? Billy Madison Productions is fantastic. Adam Sandler is one of the biggest influences in entertainment and comedy in the world, in that his stand up from Brooklyn all the way till now, everything he's done is like Midas. It's just, he's touched it, it's turned to gold. Who hasn't seen Happy Gilmore? Who hasn't seen. I can rattle them off so fast. Who hasn't seen Grown Ups? Grown Ups 2. There's just too many that you just don't want to, Big Daddy. Geez Louise. I'm just trying to think of like roles that he did when he was younger. The Longest Yard. Pretty much everything. Every sort of movie, and there's a funny guy with a big nose. It's Adam Sandler. But he's also a really outspoken producer. A really outspoken producer. For example, he landed Al Pacino for his Jack and Jill movie. He landed Al Pacino, and they called him up, and Adam said, "Hey," he said, "Hey Al, I just want to run an idea past you." And he goes, "Whatever it is, I'm in." So yeah, so he has a lot of influence from where he is and what he does, and it's someone we can all get inspiration from because he literally started with nothing and is now the biggest thing in Hollywood. He's Mr. Hollywood as we know him. The next on the list is the very outspoken, very short Kevin Hart. The reason I say very short is because I'm on Team Dwayne Johnson. I'm a Dwayne Johnson fan. But Kevin Hart's on our list today because Kevin Hart, like everybody else, most people on this list, started out with nothing in Philadelphia. He started out with nothing, went to community colleges, did his stand-up, and then eventually broke through the ice, got a few little roles in movies, and now we know Kevin Hart to be selling out football stadiums and being the funniest man on the planet. And he is right at the pinnacle of comedy. He trains hard, he works hard, he does everything he can to maintain that good image. But yeah, Mr. Hart, for sure. Mr. Kevin Hart is one of the biggest influential people you'll ever meet or see. Hope you guys meet him. Hope everybody meets all these people. Hope whatever you do in your field, you get to the peak, you get to the pinnacle. Whether you want to be a CEO of a business or you want to be the owner of, whether you want to be a CEO or whether you want to be the chief scientist in the world, whatever you want to do, I hope you get there. I hope you make it. And I hope all your influences, I hope there's someone out there who uses you as an influence. I hope everyone puts you on their list. All right, this is the goal. But yeah, no, Kevin Hart for sure. Just at the pinnacle. and he makes mountains of people laugh every year. And he has a new movie out with none other than one of my other biggest influences, Mark Wahlberg. And they, I can't remember the name of it right now. Gee whiz, isn't that terrible? um, but they steal a tortoise, and that's a real stunt. And Kevin Hart fights a mountain lion, so get excited for that. The next one on the list is none other than Dave Chappelle. For those of you who don't really know who Dave Chappelle is a very, very well done comedian, and you'll often see him on your TikTok and or your YouTube Reels. You'll scroll down and you'll find something of his. Very funny man, very funny man. And he is very true to his word, and he never really wavered for Hollywood. Like he's missed, people say like, oh, he missed out on $6 million, and he's missed out on $20 million. And Dave Chappelle goes, I didn't really miss out. I've made a lot of money, I made millions, and I never had to sell my soul to get what I needed. So he's very influential, very, very funny, very funny. You can catch Dave Chappelle on Netflix now. Dave Chappelle has 3 specials out. He's very funny. He knows what he's doing. And just as a foreclosure, if you're into Kevin Hart like comedy, he is very similar. Very similar. Maybe a bit more full on, but he's very similar. The next one on the list is going to be Heath Ledger. The reason why I say Heath Ledger came from Perth, Australia, came across country to Sydney, landed small roles, and then had a massive breakthrough with Brokeback Mountain. Brokeback Mountain led him on to be the Joker as we know him, and he will always be the Joker from his performance, which was the best Joker performance ever to be done in the world, the history of the planet. And he got so into the role that it didn't actually turn out well for his mental health and well-being, but that's a shame. But the reason why I brought up Heath Ledger was because Heath started with nothing and made it all the way to the top. And just like all these people, it's a running theme. That's all the influence you need in life. Is it doesn't matter where you start, wherever point one is, it doesn't really matter. It's just, can you start here and raise that needle? It's all about the ability to raise the needle. That's what makes people who they are, and how their character gets formed, is how much they can raise the needle or beat the tide, or whatever the case may be. That's the running theme. That's what these videos are all about. It's just telling stories and showing you that there's so many examples of people who've done this. There's so many examples. Another one I'm going to throw in is the very the very well known. I'm looking at a list. That's exactly what I'm looking at. If you're wondering, what are you looking at down there? I'm looking at a list. The very one is Christian Bale. Christian Bale is an amazing, huge movie star now, but he started out like everybody else, very, very little, nothing. But he was a very, very well-groomed actor through his experiences, and he also had the ability. He has the ability to make himself sweat. It's something you can actually teach yourself to do. It is very strange. I know what you're thinking, but how do you teach yourself to sweat? I don't actually know, but I do know it is something you can teach yourself to do. And more importantly, it is something that you can use as a meditation guide. But to share a little bit of information about um, Christian Bale. Christian Bale played a character in The Machinist in 2004. In 2004, Christian Bale got so into the role and lost so much weight. He was actually he was so committed to the role, he nearly died for it. That's how committed he was to the role. And then I think it was about 6 months, I could be wrong, 6 months later, he got into Batman shape. So it's just incredible. So yeah, there's a lot of people in media and entertainment business who can be used as motivations, who can be used as people as a guide to be what you want to be. That's all that video. That's all this video is trying to teach you. Is you can be who you want to be, and there's examples of people who made it from nothing. Also, more importantly, we have more podcasts lined up. We have more content lined up. We have more everything lined up, ready to rock and roll. So don't think that I'm gonna slow down on you. Okay, I'll keep up. I'll keep it up. I'll keep it up. I'll keep it up. So yeah, Stay tuned for that. And as always, earn that fucking salt, baby.